This is Eva Starr, and I'm going to talk to you about Saturn in Pisces for the 12 signs of the Zodiac. Now, Saturn entered Pisces on March 7th, the day of the full moon, the last full moon, and it'll stay there until May 24th of 2025, depending on how many retrograde cycles that it goes back and forth from. So I'm just going to give you a quick rundown. We won't spend a lot of time on this about what Saturn is, what Pisces is, what they mean when they come together, and just the lowdown on a quick thing for all the zodiac signs. So Saturn is affectionately known as Father Time, the lesson maker. It is all about where maybe you need to cut back, your limitations, your restrictions, but it also gives you the discipline and the wherewithal to build your foundation, whatever it is you're doing, and whatever house it falls in your chart. So when we look at that, we think about all of those things that represent Saturn, the disciplinarian, the taskmaster, the lesson maker, the builder, the structure. And then we look at Pisces, the sign of Pisces, which is ruled by the planet Neptune. Pisces is all about your dreams, your mystical, magical side, the softer side, and artistic things, and maybe behind the scenes, like your meditations, going on a retreat, getting deep down to understand your soul and your psychological stuff. So you put those two together, and a friend of mine had mentioned, Eva, that sounds like the tagline that you've always had for your business. If you can dream it, you can do it. I said, you know what? You're right. If you can dream it, the Piscean thing, you can do it. The structure of Saturn. So now that you understand that, I'm going to go through the 12 signs kind of briefly here and just give you the main points. So we'll start with Aries. So if Saturn in Pisces happens to fall in your first house, well, that would represent Aries. If you know your chart, just go to the house that Saturn in Pisces will fall in, the house that has Pisces in it. If not, then you just basically listen to my descriptions if you have Aries rising or you're in Aries. And then when I go down the line, if you have Taurus rising or you're a Taurus. So if you don't really know your chart, that's how you do it. But that would be using like whole sign houses. So again, if you have Aries rising or you're in Aries. And so for Aries, the Ram, you guys are usually on the run. So during these next 2 to 3 years, you need to kind of slow it down a little bit, to do the work of the Piscean transit going through your chart. So just go kind of, retreat into your mystical side, your sacred place. Find a special place in your home where you can meditate. Maybe make your dream time more important. What are you doing when you sleep? Do you sleep well? Maybe start a dream journal. All of those kind of things. And I can speak about this because I have Aries rising. So this definitely speaks to me. So during the next 2 to 3 years, that's where the energy of Saturn in Pisces is going to be for you. Do something that's ritualistic that you enjoy, making some chamomile tea before you go to bed, sprinkling lavender oil on your pillow helps for the sleep, those kind of things. Okay, let's move on. Taurus the bull. Now you're the steady Eddie of the zodiac. So you need to put on your sea legs, and your boat's going to be drifting through your social circles, your friends, your organizations, because it's going to be accenting the 11th house for the bull. So we know that Saturn, again, Father Time, takes a few years to sort out where to cut the bait for the Taurians, because you're probably going to, some friends are going to stay, some friends are going to, they're not going to make the cut. Sorry, Charlie, you're out of here. And that's not a bad thing. You need to decide who's lifting you up and who's bringing you down. And moving forward for the next 2 to 3 years, that's what you're going to be working on. Cleaning house, so to speak, with your friends and your organizations. And again, what's the key word here? The Beatles song, A Little Help from My Friends. That's going to be your key theme for the year, for the next 2 to 3 years. With that, with the Saturn Piscean thing. Okay, Gemini. All right, so the twins. So it's going to be moving into your 10th house of your career and your reputation. How your success status, how people see you. So you're about to make some waves here, you know, with that Piscean thing going on with that Saturn structure. So if you've worked hard for the last 3 to 6 years when it was in Capricorn and then Aquarius, then you know you're going to benefit from this new transit. So just get that poster board out, make your vision board or your treasure map. That's what we called them in my day. And the twins usually always have, because of the duality, 2 jobs going on. So get your side hustle going on, finish that website, do whatever you need to do. And it might be a good time, if you've been thinking about it, for the twins, the Geminis, to get a business coach, if that works for you. Again, if you have Gemini rising or if you're a Gemini. Now, Cancer, moi, the crab. All right, so it's time to reach high with your metaphysical and philosophical pursuits, because it's going to hit your 9th house, and that's higher study. That's like metaphysics, theology, astrology, what's that? Theology, philosophy. Did I say that? I don't know. Whatever. That's a lot of words to get out. So, again, for the Cancerians, for you fellow crabs out there like myself, it's also a good time. Get out the Ouija board. Get out your tarot cards. Seek out the gurus, that kind of thing. It's your higher vision house. I keep hitting my keyboard. So loosen those crab pinchers, and because, you know, we tend to hold on to everything, and just allow the process to carry you through your journey. So, and if you start to feel overwhelmed, because, you know, we can, and we hide into that shell of ours, just chunk it all out, you know, one piece at a time. Okay, crabs? All right. All right, now let's move on to Leo. Now, you guys, king, queen of the jungle, you know who you are. But you're going to have to, because it's hitting your 8th house of other people's resources and your house of deep transformation. So you're going to have to pool your resources to keep that jungle thriving. You've got plenty of friends in the jungle while you've been on this journey, so call those closest to you. You might have to restructure your, I don't know, your financial thing or what's going on there. Don't be afraid to call on your spirit guides. This is the time where it's the house of transformation, death and rebirth, okay? Beware of getting involved in any, like, Ponzi scams, the, what do you call that? Like, when in doubt, do without. Let that be your motto this year, Leos. Okay, let's move on to Virgos. Okay, Virgos, we know you're not the warm and fuzzy feely type. Okay, you're more the practical, realistic. Okay, I have a news flash for you, Virgos. It's time to remove the white gloves and let your heart come out of that deep winter freeze. Because Saturn in Pisces, now come on, Pisces is, you know, we're the, you know, well, I'm not a Pisces, but Pisces is, you know, think about all the things Pisces rules. You know, it's ruled by Neptune, the magical, mystical. It's the sea, it's the ocean waves. Now it's going to be in your house of relationships for 2 to 3 years. So these are things you can do for you for the next 2 to 3 years. Is make it a weekly habit. Saturn loves structure, to do something with your partner, whether it's business or personal. Maybe cook dinner together more often. Start an herb garden. That would be great for you guys, because Virgos love the plants and all of that. Do it together. Bring flowers home occasionally, whatever. And if you guys already do all this, well, then you don't have to worry about the next 2 to 3 years, because you'll be right at home with Pisces, Saturn in Pisces. Pisces is your opposite sign, so remember that. All right, so the Libras, it's going to be in your 6th house, which is your day-to-day habits, your daily routines, your service to others, your daily work, and pets, and also your health. If you have any health, things going on, that's usually where it'll show up. So Libra, for the Libras, remember Libra rising or Libra sun sign, it's all about balance. Okay, so Saturn in Pisces is asking you to do this, okay? It's asking you to look at your day-to-day, your jobs and your habits and your routines. And if you're in a job for you Libras that's stressing you out because you're the peace lover, then maybe it's time to transition slowly, ride the waves, into something that brings out your creativity. You know what you like. You're all about art, beauty, the artistic thing, being a mediator. So if you don't listen to the alarms, because remember, this is also your health house. If you don't listen to the alarms, ringing, ding, 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 hello, trying to get your attention, I think you're stressed out. Maybe you ought to transition into something that brings you more peace. Then the universe, Father Saturn, smack 2x4, side of the head, is going to give you a wake-up call. Okay, Scorpios. All right, you're all about transformation. But we know you like to take things to the extremes, the Scorpion. The pendulum swings heavy, one way or the other. You don't really do much in the middle. That's okay. We love you anyway. So for you, you have to make sure that you don't go into those oceans of indulgence. Kind of try to stay in the middle for the next 2 to 3 years. Saturn's going to help you keep your boundaries in line, so don't worry about it. Romance, because it's hitting your house, the 5th house of romance, different from marriage. Romance, affairs, creativity, and children for the next 2 to 3 years. So kick in the softer side of the Scorpion, put the stinger away for a while, light the candles in that dark cave of yours, showcase your chocolate puff pastry culinary skills. And with Saturn's discipline, this might be a good time to ignite your creative genius, because the 5th house is all about creativity. Maybe take that photography class you've been wanting to do, or creative oil painting. You'll figure it out, Scorpio. You're a smart cookie. Okay, Center, Sagittarius, the half man, half horse, bow and arrow. Okay, well, your bow and arrow is aiming right at the home and family front for the next 2 to 3 years for you with Saturn in Pisces. So you can make it surrealistic, okay? You're pretty visionary, a big dreamer and stuff like that. Find some fabric or some paintings that really speak to you. Change the curtains or put the paintings up on your wall. And it's time to really reflect your roots and your past, what your family means to you, and have those connections been uprooted? Do you need to work on some healing time? Because Pisces is all about that healing. So remember, Saturn's going to help you examine your boundaries, and you can still be the free bird if you want to fly, because you love to spread those wings. But just remember, know your limits. That's for the Centaur. All right, so Capricorn. So Saturn's your ruler, Capricorn. So you're very familiar with the goat, treading up that mountain, persevering and resting on a plateau until you reach the summit. So for you, Saturn in Pisces is transiting your 3rd house of community, networking, neighborhood, speaking, writing, short trips. So your words will have the creative influence of that Piscean, magical, mystical there, and that inspiration from the fish. So you'll be making waves. You just maybe need to decide where to place your anchor in the literary seas of the world. So is it that book? Is it the podcast? Okay, so your mind already comes from a structured, disciplined place. So you've already got well-formed boundaries. So maybe get that recorder out, record your inspirations throughout the day. Maybe you want to leave that recorded by your nightstand. Oh, that's a thought, right? Because your dream life is about to join the surrealistic genre of a Salvador Dali gallery exhibit. Say that 10 times. So this is the most opportune time for you goats out there to, like I said, get that speaking and writing going. Touch of the mystic. And a good thing for you guys, like I mentioned for a while, I don't forget who it was, one of the other signs, whoever was going through, I think the 9th house. Oh, maybe the Cancers. Maybe time to get into that tarot card deck. Bring it out or start anew. All right, Aquarius. All right, so for the Aquarians, it's time to take off the rose-colored glasses and trade them in for the accountant's spectacles as you look closer at your QuickBooks and your finances, because it's landing in your house of money, your finances, your security, your assets, the things you value, the second house. So trust your intuition, because that Pisces is all about intuition when developing your innovative ideas that bring money into that cash box of yours. So Saturn is going to help create the necessary structures and the discipline and give you those money tips to keep your ship from sinking into the Piscean seas. So not to worry. So your best bet is to integrate the financial frugality of Saturn with the creative muse of Pisces and build your economic castle over the next 2 to 3 years. And remember, gratitude will keep the abundance flowing in like a river. And that's for all the signs. Gratitude is probably the easiest, most simplistic way to keep whatever it is that you like in your life coming to you. I don't care if you say 10,000 times a day, I'm grateful for my home. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for that I have food to eat. I mean, whatever it is, simple stuff, the big stuff, the small stuff, all the stuff. Okay, so, and that's, like I said, gratitude's for everybody. But this year for the Aquarians, especially because Saturn Pisces is hitting your financial house. All right, last but not least, our beloved fish. So Saturn has landed in your house of self, your physical body, your vitality, how the world sees you, your personality, and it's bringing you the discipline and the structure that you need to follow your dreams. Because, you know, the fish, one's swimming upstream, one's swimming downstream, one's trying to hit the mundane of the world, the other one's like, no, I want to go into the magical, mystical fantasy land for a little bit. Well, Saturn's going to help you integrate that and merge that. Invest your energy into your passions, your goals, your compassionate causes, and wish upon that magical star. This is your year. Your wanderlust will have some boundaries and structure to it so that you won't get lost, you know, on your way to the whatever. On the way to the board meeting, you got to make it to the board meeting. So those clouds of illusion and confusion that normally color your world are going to be kind of like strengthen up a little bit there. Maybe just a wee bit. So it's trendy to, tending, I'm reading my words here. It's tending, whether it's tending to your aquarium, getting a deep tissue massage, or floating in a sensory deprivation tank, you're on your way to following the yellow brick road. So all you Pisces, you can join Dorothy on the way to Oz, because you got the structure. And who knows who you'll meet along the way. And that's it. This is Eva Starr saying, mwah! I love you all, and enjoy the next 2 to 3 years of your Saturn in Pisces.